Yo, what is good, y'all? Commander Blaze back with another video. Uh, as I'm recording this, I am also streaming on YouTube. You also join them, but I try to stream every Fridays and Saturdays, depends on the day. But we got Fern, aka Relix, right here.
Yo, what's up?
Put his Twitch. I'm not. Do you have YouTube yet?
YouTube? Nah.
Yeah. But fucking, I'll put your Twitch in the description so people can follow you.
Alright.
And fucking, typically we have Joseph on here, but now we have uh I want to say better guess it's a fuck with Joseph, but Joseph's cool. But fucking, we're reacting to. I thought I liked being cut. I didn't. And bro, I hope this is like satire, bro. I'm praying it's a satire. Fuck it, we'll just get into it.
I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience being cocked, particularly something that happened between me and my ex-wife. Now, before
Bro, that makes sense.
I begin, there are two things that you need to know about my ex-wife. Okay, number one, she loved getting jiggy with it, right? Loved it. She's like an animal. And she died. So that was kind of like a...
I'm sorry, bro. Like right when he said that, bro, I felt the muscles in my face trying to form a smile, and I had to like hold it back.
A chicken and the egg scenario, you know, divorce, death, which came first. But point is, whichever way you slice it, she's out of my life. I never knew if, you know, if your partner dies, does that automatically mean they're your ex? You know, but anyway. This is not normally a story that I probably would feel comfortable telling because it's very personal, right? But the reason that I wanted to tell it was because, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've sort of been blowing up lately, you know? And so I feel like now I have a little bit more of a platform, and that allows me to sort of provide people a perspective on things that they wouldn't normally see. For example, cucking...
Bro, why did you say it like that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for pausing, but it's like, but cooking? Like, what the?
Is kind of a joke.
Oh shit, we got four viewers.
Right, it's
four
sort
viewers.
of
Four viewers
in our culture. And for me, it's the exact opposite, because I have always struggled with insecurity, dysfunction in the bedroom, and everywhere else. I mean, if you've watched this YouTube channel for more than 5 seconds, you probably could tell that I'm very mentally ill, right? So cucking for me is sort of more of a therapeutic exercise, right? It's sort of an emotional...
Bro, that's an insane statement. Alright, yeah, bro. I love watching my life get fucked. It's like a therapeutic spiritual exercise for me. You know how it is, you know? I know y'all are relating to me in the chat. I know everyone watching these videos relating to me. I know everyone in the universe is relating to. It's like, bro, what the fuck?
Stick sort of thing. And basically, like I said, I had a very, very difficult time my entire life sort of making it happen in the terms of intimacy. And so, what really wasn't until my ex-wife and I got together and then really got to know each other and got comfortable with each other that I was able to have anything remotely resembling physical intimacy. And so, even when it was good, you know.
Yo.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright. Wait, were you trying to talk throughout the entire, like, reaction?
Nah.
Okay, I didn't know, because I know your fucking mic, like, cut out or some shit. But fucking... I don't know, this reaction is kind of crazy so far.
Even when it was even the best night that we had, I was still... It would be over, and I would think, you know, I would obsess over...
What's up? Oh. I thought I heard you.
were you faking it? Would you rather be with somebody else? Do you wish it was your ex? You know, all this stuff. And I would grill her basically every night about all these things. And then that started to spill over into my daily life. You know, that would become, are you cheating on me? You know, why aren't you texting me back? Why aren't you calling me? Do you even love me? All this stuff. And it got very, 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 very.
How the fuck is like this pool girls and I'm still like single over here, bro? What the fuck? What am I doing wrong? Did I become a cock?
Very, very difficult for both of us. And that really started to sort of fray our relationship. You know, and it started to. I remember very vividly one night I had a dream.
Is he fucking Martin Luther King? Like he had a dream.
Yeah, bro. That's why I caused the video, bro. Bro, if this was Martin Luther King, Martin Luther, well, it's fucking dream, bro. Then we're
not like Martin Luther King, not that kind of dream.
Bro, he even quoted it.
I hope he didn't have a dream like this, because otherwise he would be pretty freaky.
Like I had a dream.
Like, bro, yeah, I have a dream to watch my wife get fucked in front of me. I even have the cuck chair in the corner right there. You know, that's kind of crazy because I pointed, like, you can see in the video. There's like a chair right there. And no, it's not a fucking cuck chair, but I just have it right there for like when the homies come over and we drink. And I watch my girl get fucked. That's an insane statement. I got chill before people actually think I'm like being serious. Did you see BO7 is gonna be 18? Yeah, I'm fucking with it. A little bit. Just a little bit, because COD has kind of been like falling off just a little bit.
I don't know, he's kind of hot, you know, maybe it's... Anyway.
What?
I had a dream. Now I can't stop thinking about Martin Luther King. I had a nightmare. Let's say that. I have a nightmare. Evil Dr. King, right? I had a nightmare where my wife was engaging in an act of physical intimacy in front of me, and I couldn't do anything about it. And she was doing it to humiliate me. She was tormenting me.
What the fuck kind of dreams y'all?
And it started to become a recurring nightmare. And eventually, I brought this up to her.
Some weird ass nightmare to have.
Yeah, bro, but I mean, this might be his nightmare, but this is definitely Adam 22's like biggest dream, bro. I once had a dream, and I made it possible with Jason Love.
I've been having this dream where you. At the time, I didn't know exactly that's what it was called.
When's my feature gonna come in, dude?
That's insane. That's
Adam 22. Hit me up.
This nightmare where you.
You know the plug. That's my wife. Everyone's wife. I'm married to her. You're married to her.
We're all married to her.
Yeah, we're all married to her. She's mine.
Well, wonder what the fuck they're gonna tell their daughter for.
I'm pretty, bro. Their daughter's gonna be bullied, bro. Like, there's no denying it, but fuck it.
Be like, your mom fucked another guy. On camera.
Nah, bro. Think about that too, bro. Like, not just in her case, bro, but like, and like the only, like, bro, we're like, what, almost 20? There's people I know and have OnlyFans, and some of them have kids. And bro, knowing how...
Wow, I know who you're talking about.
Knowing how...
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Bro, like, knowing, like, how we grew up, bro, in that area, they're cooked. They're fried rice.
Well, if they find out their mom has an OnlyFans, he's fucked.
Yeah, bro. Bomb No, man, this is...
I know who you're talking about. I know you're talking about.
Psychologically and
physically. I seen it, bro. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, and I know she has a kid. I'm like, oh, shit. Knowing that everyone knows each other in that town.
Yeah, bro.
He's fucked.
I mean, I'm just saying this because fuck. No, like, I mean, I wasn't like calling up that certain person, but like, I was like, there was like at least 3-4 females I know that done that already, which is insane.
You know, in this way, I don't want to say I don't want to get YouTube to get all pissy with me, but yeah, basically, yeah, I told her, and she said, I thought she would think it was funny, but she really did not, and she said, you know what? I am getting sick of you having this idea of me in your head, this figment of your imagination who is evil. right? You have invented a version of me that is evil and trying to ruin your life. And you think that's me, right? You projected that onto me. So that's what's causing all the problems in our relationship. And at the time, I was sort of like, okay, lesson learned. Don't tell you anything ever again, right? Zip. But, after I started to think about it, and I started to realize she was exactly right. I was right on the money. And I sort of sat with this for a little bit, and I started to I worked with my therapist, trying to figure out how to sort of get the.
Bro, you know, it'd be a crazy plot twist. What if the therapist was the one that fucked his wife?
Evil version of her out of my head. But it was just.
I mean, it's possible.
It's very, very deep-seated problems that I have. So, basically, one night we had an argument, and it was about something so dumb I don't even remember
That's
what it was.
insane.
But basically, the you know how it's like every argument isn't really about the thing that it's about. It's about it's like most couples have the same argument over and over again their entire relationship, right? Same thing. And that's definitely the case with us. And it got to a point where she said, "What do? We cannot continue going on like this. So we have to either do something or end it." And I, as a joke, said, "Well, why don't we have a threesome?" You know?
Bro, why do you move to the camera like that, bro?
This motherfucker's just making it worse.
Yeah, bro. Bro, like,
Like,
with the way the video.
it's a fucking dream. They go, fool.
Bro, I've not laughed this hard in a fucking while, bro. On stream especially. But like the way he like did it, like moved to the camera and everything. Let me just run it.
Or end it. And I, as a joke, said, "Well, why don't we have a threesome?"
Like, bro, the phrase too. It's like, wow, why don't we have a threesome?
That's the joke.
Bro, this has to be satire. I'm hoping.
Plot twist, well, the wife says yes.
You know? And I was like,
bro, like, now that, it'd be crazy. Imagine you're like, yeah, I want to have a threesome. You're expecting, like 2 chicks. And fucking, your wife's like.
It's a guy, girl.
Yeah, bro, but like, she's ability to, like, yes, this person, like, doesn't even say the fucking gender. Like, it's amazing for both of us, especially you. And you're like all excited. You have like a bathrobe, there's candles in the room waiting for you to walk in. It's like Shaq looking motherfucker with a dong, just like basically his third leg at that point. And like, what would you do in that situation? I honestly, I wouldn't know, bro.
I'm not sure.
It was culture. That's insane.
Expecting her to laugh. I was trying to break.
Hold on. My bad, I had to pull out the cuck chair real quick.
Break the tension with that. But her reaction was like, really? And I could tell that she was actually interested. And I said, well, I was joking, but if you I was at a place where I feel like I'm such a pathetic loser in relationships. I was at a
How many subs? Oh, wait, how many subs? God damn, bro. Past the 3, 2, 1 case.
Place where I was ready to do anything. You're gonna probably hear the rest of the story, and you're gonna say you're so stupid. But you have to understand, I was in a place where I would do anything to just have her love me again, right? I would do anything to have her to just fix it. And I didn't know at the time, nothing will do that. It's not possible. But so when I said the threesome remark, and she said she was interested, I said, I was just joking. But if you are interested, then I'll think about it. And she said, you know what? Yeah. And the reason why she said that was because this is
oh, God. Weddle / Fern tag team leading the plug. Oh, yeah, bro. I'm going to be in the, I call the back. Me and Fern's gonna dap each other up while we're looking at Adam 22 in his eyes. Yeah. It's your wife, bro. It's your baby mom. Bro, that's
You know what's crazy, bro? They did a part 2. It wasn't just Jason Love didn't fuck his wife just once. Fucked her twice, dude. That's what makes it even worse. And he's fine with it.
yeah, bro. Wait. I just realized something, then.
You know what that fool posted on Twitter,
What you post?
Adam22,
What you post on Twitter?
when the video came up?
Yeah.
He's like, my wife paying the bills. I'm like, what the
That's
fuck?
insane.
That's just insane.
But fucking what was it? Yeah, Adam 22 actually Eiffel Tower his wife, and I'm not saying that because I seen the video, but I'm pretty sure that he Eiffel Tower his wife. Tag team, and I think they fist bumped too. Like there was a whole clip of it on Twitter I saw.
Probably important context.
No, I'm not even wrong. I remember that.
I mentioned earlier. She was polyamorous before we got married. So she's
fuck is polyamorous?
Sort of lived her whole life, you know, slinging it all around town, and everybody was just supposed to be fine with that.
That's insane.
And I said,
I took heroin.
I cannot do that. So either it's probably not going to work between the two of us. But we fell so in love that she was willing to give that up for me. And you know, talking about it now, I don't think I ever really appreciated that the way that I should have, and that's my bad. I did a lot of things wrong up until this point, right? Well, and still, anyway, she said, "Okay, let's do a threesome." So I was like, "Okay," you know, sort of hesitantly, but I figured I could let her have this because she gave in to me to get married, and so I can give in to her a little bit. Compromise, right?
What the fuck?
So I sat with it for a few more days, and then I came to her. I had sort of I do a lot of surfing on the internet, you know, and so it's almost impossible to not find something about cucking in some way or shape or form, you know. And I had sort of stumbled into a Reddit community centered around it, and it was
what r/cucks. Bro, I forgot
very
real.
Cool, you know, they were very like-minded people, and we all
like-minded
shared similar desires and similar problems, and you know, So I had sort of been as I was thinking about the threesome, I was like, well, I don't really feel like that would be good because I can barely make one person happy in the sack, let alone two. You know, so I said to her, what if instead of a threesome, you get with somebody else and you do it in front of me and
What the fuck?
Bro, I hope this is a satire. I'm praying satire because like bro. Now I understand what are you guys' thoughts on cucking? What is your thoughts on cucking? You know what my thoughts on cucking are? I'd be the one that's fucking. Actually, no, that's kind of not in, like real blaze talk. That's kind of gay if you think about that. Like fucking someone else's wife or girlfriend while that man is still in the room. Nigga or not, that's still gay. Not hating on the gay people, but fucking I don't swing like that. My 2-incher don't swing like that. But I'm praying it's a satire on everything that I love. I hope it's satire.
Right? And at first she laughed. This wasn't a joke. She thought this one was a joke. And she said, "You want me to cock you?" And I said, "Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's. I know it's considered a joke, but I said, yeah. I mean, I feel like maybe there's a concept in therapy called exposure therapy. Okay, and that's basically when if you have a fear or a phobia, you expose yourself to the fear or phobia so that you see it's not a big deal and you get over it. So if you're afraid of bees, kick a bee's nest. If you're a germaphobe, you know, stick a sandwich in the toilet and eat it, or
What the fuck? Nah, I know some of y'all motherfuckers be doing shit like that. Hold on. Yo. You mudded? Oh, okay, never mind. I get it now. But like, if motherfuckers actually like put a sandwich. I should think about that right now makes me want to barf.
Or lick your own. I don't know. Point is, you expose yourself to the phobia, and then you see that it's not a big deal. So I said, my worst nightmare, literally, my worst nightmare is that I'm getting cocked. So what if it just happens? And then I'm like, okay, the worst thing that could ever happen happened. Now we can move on. Now I can stop living in fear of this thing happening constantly, and we can actually have a good marriage. It was a good idea. Even now that I'm saying it again, it seems like a good idea. But so I presented this to her with all my reasoning, and she said, okay. You know, she was really interested. A little too interested. That was probably the first red flag, but by the time I didn't really. So the next question became, should we pick somebody who we both know or a stranger? And at first I thought it would be better with somebody that we knew because then we can sort of talk about it and you know, process things and all that.
What?
But we could even maybe go to throuples therapy, you know. Look at
Fucking world, bro. Now I know why it took so long to make fucking GTA 6, bro. Because we live in the satire ass world that GTA was based on.
Me now, I'm becoming poly, and I got tricked into it. Anyway, then you know, we sort of started to realize, well, if it's we were going down the list of people who were contenders from our social circles, and I was realizing I can't start going to trivia night and picturing you railing my wife every single time I'm trying to figure out, you know, who the 12th president was. So,
what the fuck,
so
bro?
Said, maybe it would be
Guess
better
what
to have a
other video this motherfucker posted?
There's more?
If you go to his most popular video,
We're gonna look at that.
it's titled,
What is it?
I saw my grandma pleasing herself.
We're watching that one next, bro. We're watching that one next, bro.
It's 6 minutes long.
Oh, we're watching that one, bro.
I want to hear that shit.
Wait, is this the same? Is this the same guy that fucking
The same guy.
No. Is this the same guy that like did a video where he had like a bottle of vodka and he was in his car and he was like, ah! Just chuck. I think that's.
Yeah, he's like, I hate my life.
I hate my life.
We were sort of like, well, do we go on Craigslist? Or like what?
Craigslist?
And then eventually I sort of said, look, the whole point of this is that it is supposed to be humiliating for me. And it is supposed to be, you know. So I'm going to give you the reins. You do whatever you want. You do it with whoever you want. And I just have to suck it up. That's the whole point. It's not just in the moment. It's the lead up and everything surrounding it. It's a psychological thing. So she said, okay, you know. And I said, I promise it is okay. Never say that. So we picked out a date. Well, she picked out a date and said, you're going to do this. And that was what I wanted, you know. So she said, we're going to do this here. It's going to be at the house. Another mistake.
Bro, would be another mistake, bro. This whole thing.
It's going to be with this person who I found on Hinge. And there we go. It's going to be great. So that night comes. And I'm very, 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 very nervous. You know, I'm sort of that's anxiety inducing, you know, but another mistake that I made was that I sort of had an attitude of just power through it because it's like mouthwash. You know, the pain means that it's working. This is supposed to hurt. So the pain is good. Suck it up and get through it. So
there's a whole new definition of embrace the suck.
All the information that I have now in the future, but I didn't. So the time rolls around. You know, I can't focus at work because I'm thinking about it. And then the night rolls around. It was a Friday night, and
that's crazier.
There's a knock at the door. He's here, right? She had told me she'd never met this guy before, and she was acting like she had never met this guy before. But as soon as she opened the door, I could swear there was a little bit of it was like a flicker of
a what?
Recognition. You know, it was like they said, "Oh, nice to meet you. You know, hi, how are you? My name's
how are you?"
But the look in her eye seemed like she knew who this person was. But I can't say anything because I'm going to sound like a crazy person. But that was sort of a stomach drop moment. You know, but I said, no, it's all in your head because I'm paranoid about everything else. How do I know what's right and what's not? That's my torment in life. So I said, okay, whatever. He comes in. And you know, they're sort of like, well, should we make small talk or do you want to get into it? We had put out a little charcuterie board. You know,
the fuck is that?
Kind of stuff. Probably should have been another red flag how into it she was getting. You know, it was like it was going to be a date. She had lit candles and, you know, cheese and all this stuff and wine. So he starts having crackers and you know, talking about all just the weather and all this stuff. And then eventually they say, okay, it's time. Like they started acting like they had been talking about this before. And maybe that wasn't exactly something that I had said, no, that's for, no. But still, it was weird that it seemed like they were the team and I wasn't. I guess I'm complaining about exactly what I wanted and I told them. But I don't know, it's just all these things I was starting to really get agitated and anxious. And I should have stopped it. I should have said, no, I don't want to do this anymore. But I didn't because I thought that was supposed to be good. I thought that was the way it was supposed to go. So they say, okay, we are going to start. Let's go in the bedroom. So I walked in and I felt like I was about to puke. I sit in a chair that we had positioned.
Bro, I want to know if Adam's going to have like a story about like something. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was in the room when Jason was clapping his girl's cheeks, but I wonder if like something of saying how he felt about that.
There, the cock chair.
I want to compare. The cock chair.
Sit down. And knowing probably what I should have done was face the dude and see the back of my wife's head, because what sunk me was I sat behind the guy and I saw my wife's face straight on. So I was looking at her face, processing every single micro expression that she was emitting. She walked over to the guy and she was so excited. The look on her face of excitement when she was coming up to him and leaning in, you know, and she was like, you know, I can't do it, but it was a look that I had never seen before in my life. She was excited in a way that I had never seen before in my life. She was conveying an emotion that I'd never seen before. And that broke me. That was what pushed me over the edge. Because I knew there's no coming back from this. There's no coming back from knowing. This is a person who I thought that I have learned inside and out, right? And now I'm seeing that is not the case. She has been hiding this part of herself from me. Not hiding it, but it's just I've never seen it before. So that probably means there's a lot else that I haven't seen. Maybe it's my fault. We can argue that until the cows come home. But point is, I was realizing the true depth of how over our relationship was. And it was sort of like I had an out-of-body experience. Because all of a sudden I got up and I said, stop. And she got upset and she was like, what's the problem? You know, it's annoyed. She was annoyed with me.
That's insane, bro.
And I said, I don't want to do this anymore. She said, well, you said it was okay. And I said, I know I said that now, but now I'm taking it back. And I was getting more and more and more and more upset. At that point, I was 75% sure that we were getting a divorce. But she could have saved it. When she was annoyed with me for stopping, it went up to 90. And then I said, you know what? Goodbye. It's over. You two do whatever the hell you want in here, because you don't have to worry about me anymore. And I walked out. And I slammed the door behind me, and I walked down, and I got in my car. And I sat in the car. Nobody came out. after me. I waited for 5 minutes in that car like a loser, like a pathetic asshole. 5 minutes. I sat there waiting for somebody to come out, and nobody did. That's when I became 100%. Nobody, she didn't come out. I said, it's over. Nothing. So I drove away, and I went to a friend's house.
Nah, imagine putting that to your
Stayed the
homie.
night, and I got up the next morning.
Like,
It was one of those.
I saw my wife fuck another dude.
It's like, yeah, bro, we'll have a beer in the house. Yeah, bro. He's homie. What happened, bro? I let my wife get fucked by another dude. Honestly, I wonder what the homie's reaction was.
That night of sleep
To
was
be
so
honest,
awful
it's
because
his fault.
I don't know.
It is, bro. You're like, yeah, you know, kinda, I want to see you get fucked. And he's like, fuck.
If something ever
I
happened.
wonder if he pulls out the vodka
you
bottle
wake up
here.
in the middle of the night, and at first you forget, you know, and you're like, maybe it was a dream, maybe it's not, and then you remember, and so I would wake up 10 o'clock, you know, midnight, 3 o'clock, and I'd remember every single time because I'd have to pee a lot, so I have to get up and pee a lot during the night, and so I'm a light sleeper, so I was getting up and remembering what had happened, and like. Every moment, every time that I remembered, it was like it was happening.
Bro's PTSD was
And I
wild
would
as
check
fuck,
my
bro.
phone to see if she had texted and said, "I'm sorry, you know, I made a mistake. I love you so much. Let's fix this." But nothing. Every time I checked, nothing. I wake up the next morning, and I go to work. I stop at home first because I need to shower and change, and nobody's there.
Bomb with that.
I text her, and I say, "Hey, where are you? Are you okay?" You know? Nothing. No answer. So I go to work.
Still getting clapped, bro.
And I don't even remember anything that happened that day. I was just typing mindlessly, trying to take my mind off of it. But I just couldn't focus on anything. I was like, this whole day is shot. And I keep checking my phone. I've got it turned all the way up. You know, when you turn it all the way up so that you hear the sound? Nothing. For the whole morning. Eventually, 11 a.m. rolls around. I get a call from an unknown number. And I think it's a sales call. I get a lot of sales calls, so I don't answer. Same number calls back immediately after.
It's a dude.
Decline. Same number calls me back a third time. And I answer. And guy says, you know, this is so-and-so from the LAPD.
No.
Is this Dan?
Is he telling the story? I should be like, bro, but is this the part where his wife fucking died? I shouldn't be laughing, bro, but the plot twist is crazy.
I said, yeah, it is. He says, is your wife so-and-so? And I said she was. Not anymore. What's going on? She was in a car accident this morning. She's dead.
Bro, this plot twist is
And
insane. I hope this is a satire.
the whole world stopped around me. And I said, huh? He said, she's dead.
Damn, bro. So he watched his wife get her shit raped.
What's the crazy plot twist, bro?
One from seeing his wife get that's insane. That's the last memory of his wife was getting clapped, and then next morning she's dead. Like, bro, his. I mean, you told me too. There's a video you told me about where you saw his grandma pleasuring herself. This guy's life is more cooked than like mine.
In retrospect, I probably should have asked what happened. But I didn't. I don't know why. I said, okay. And I hung up the phone. I think because it was one of those things where you don't really know how you're going to react in something like that. So I was just in shock. And I was trying to treat it like a normal phone call. So I said, okay, thanks. I said, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Hang up. And it was like the whole, you know, everything sort of went around me. My ears are ringing. It's like everything's gone. And I feel like Geppetto. I'm having an out-of-body experience. I go over to my boss's room, and I say, I'm sorry. I think I said, I'm sorry, I gotta go. And the look on my boss's face could, she could tell. My boss is a female, by the way. So, write that down. She said, I can tell that you are, I can tell, well, all right, she didn't say that, but she basically was like, she looked just as shocked as me, I think because I was conveying extreme shock. And she said, okay, you can, do what you got to do. I hope everything's okay. And I said, it's not. At this point, I realize I am crying, and snot is running down my nose. And I realize I have to call the police guy back because I don't have any other information. I don't know where she is. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, she's dead.
Et cetera, et cetera. I call the police guy back. And I ask, what the hell happened? What's going on with my wife? How did she die? What's going on? And he says she was in the car with the guy from the previous night. This morning.
Damn.
They were merging onto the interstate, and I guess they misjudged the time.
Bro, so she was going back to his house.
You know what?
4 cheeks. Then she...
That's crazy. She was with the other guy. Bro, she was probably giving him a blowjob while he was driving, and he wasn't paying attention. And when he was merging into the intersection, boom, dead.
Tell you, that roadhead. You be cross-eyed.
That makes sense.
I think that's valid.
Timing of the semi-truck that was also merging. They flipped over off the overpass. Both dead.
I don't know what happened, bro.
And
I'm not a piece of shit.
Now, for the rest of my life, the last time I ever saw my wife,
David's rightful. Roadhead made him crash.
That face she made, I've never seen her make. Of excitement that I've never seen.
That's insane.
Because she's about to get dicked down by some random man. I told my family that what we had gone out to eat the previous night, and we had a beautiful evening and said we loved each other, but
nah. Explain that to your family too. Explain that to your family. No. Bro.
But even then, eventually I couldn't keep up that lie because I had decided to end it 12 hours before she died. So her parents are trying to coordinate funeral crap with me. And eventually I just said, listen, we got a divorce the night before. We said it's over. So I don't want to be involved in this, okay? This is your problem. You deal with it. Leave me out of it. I don't want to be involved. And they said, they assumed that I was grieving. And so they said, no, it's, come on, it's okay. We love you. You're part of this family. And I said, no, I'm not a part of this family. I'm nothing.
God.
She doxed me. And I said, what does that mean?
Damn.
Okay. That was me hanging up the phone. That's it. She's dead. That's how she died.
Oh, the Vietnam War is there, bro.
I thought telling that story would make me feel better, but it didn't.
She got me.
Nothing will make me feel better. Because every time I think about her now, I think about that face. Every time.